Welcome to Faith on Tap, a podcast where we go out to the wilds of local breweries and talk to you about, thoughts and various topics are important to all of us. And we have Liz here today.
Hello.
And to my left, we have, here we go, the Captain of Conviction.
No, I don't like it. Conviction. I don't want anybody else's conviction on my shoulders. So,
You don't think your job as a pastor is to put in people's heart the conviction that the Holy Spirit gives them so they can become stronger Christians and live a better life?
well, you said two different things there. I'm to put into their heart this conviction of the Holy Spirit. He takes care of all that conviction.
Right,
stuff.
but doesn't he? Okay, forget that. I have another one for you. Ooh, how about this one? The Chancellor of Charity.
I'll take that one.
Okay, all right, we got that one.
Chancellor of Charity.
It's vague enough for you to like.
Yeah.
It could be whatever you like it to be, I guess.
Chancellor
He
is
says
a
the
good
Chancellor
word.
of Charity afoot. I should have made to speak with him.
Chancellor is a good word, I think so.
So today, our question is, how do you think the world will end? And before we ask the crew the questions, this is a part where Liz is going to like and Dennis will not like, because I have a list of things. Every time we do the list thing.
Wait, we're
Dennis-
trivia again?
Not trivia. This is deep theological questions.
All right.
So I was doing some research, and it wasn't like a poll to find out what most people thought, but it was based upon what scientists and technology, sociology, et cetera, people would think the top 5 reasons they believe the world could come to an end. So now I'll start with Dennis. I'm going to start with Dennis. You can give me one of the top 5 that people think would be the top reasons the world would come to an end.
And this poll was taken recently?
Not necessarily a poll, but they asked a number of experts in all the fields that mattered in this subject.
Recently?
Yes, yesterday.
Yesterday. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's got to be a meteorite impact.
That is number 5, an asteroid or a cosmic event. That's the 5th, so you just made it, but you got it. I'm giving it to you.
I worked my way up from the bottom.
All right, and I give you credit. Okay, Liz.
I'm going to say the death of the sun.
Actually, I think that asteroid and cosmic events would be the sun. So you kind of repeated what Dennis said.
Oh.
She doesn't get another chance, though.
Okay, I want you to claim victory at one of these, so you can go again. Don't let me down.
I'm going to say a World War III type of episode where humans kill humans.
Okay, I'm going to give it to you with nuclear war. That would be it. So you got, that was number 2.
That was
Shall
number 2.
we
So
play
you
a
got
game?
number 2
And number 5.
number 5. So that would be 2 for Dennis.
Or 7 if you add 2 and 5.
And Liz has a chance to redeem herself.
Catastrophic weather.
Well,
Climate change.
climate change is number 1, believe it or not.
I was
so.
going to say that.
So no scientists participated in this?
It's funny to think that, well, of all the things that could destroy the world, climate change...
It's really low on the list.
The climate does definitely change, but so far it has not caused anything vicious towards
It's been
us.
going on for
Several billion years.
4.7 billion years.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. We have 2 left. One I expect you to get. One you may not get. So Dennis, you get this, you get the victory. You will win.
I'm going to say flood. Global flood.
Okay. That was under the climate change
climate
one.
change.
So
Darn it.
just as I
He
couldn't give
doesn't
Liz.
get to say another
I
one.
know,
don't.
I know.
I do not.
I know. We have that Liz rule already in effect. So Liz, you could tie.
I'm going to say technology run wild.
Now you have to be a lot more specific. than
Robots.
that. Okay, wrong.
AI.
That is correct.
That's robots.
No, it's not. Technology run wild is really a vague thing. AI is the winner. And Dennis, stop dancing.
I cannot help it. The excitement is
Get
overwhelming
off
me
the
right
table.
now.
Wow.
I need a lampshade.
And you also have to need to talk into the mic.
Yeah, well, I'm so happy I'm getting a chip.
All right. So, yes, that is AI, the potential threat from advanced AI going beyond human control, sometimes
said
referred
robots.
to. Yes, but robots, we had Lost in Space. We had a robot there. There was no AI there.
Lost in space. That's your go-to.
Well, that,
Okay.
yeah.
Just checking the
That's a
scoreboard.
robot. No, that's not AI. It's a robot. Robot's not going to work. Anyway, the third one, which no one
Pestilence.
said, you're on the right track.
Disease, pestilence.
We're looking more specifically for pandemics. And
Pandemic, all right.
Yes.
So this was all written by freshmen in college. Here?
Once again, if you weren't here when
College?
I mentioned, if you weren't here when I mentioned who were asked these questions, experts in the field of science, environment, technology, sociology, etc. So, I mean, there could be a pandemic that could wipe it out. Absolutely.
Cause a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. I mean,
So when they say ending the world, what they say when the end of the world, they're just saying when humanity's gone. That's what they mean by the world. I was thinking like the globe, but they're saying
We're no
just-
longer existing.
so you said you think climate change, there'll be no more globe after that?
No, I think that's what these people think. But once I realized that astronomical events was was an umbrella term, I knew we were playing a different game.
So what you want to say is that you were right and Dennis was wrong.
Yeah, because they're talking about humanity.
But here's the thing.
But the question was
But
hypothetically.
here's the thing. No matter how you spin this, I won.
Yeah, no, Dennis is the winner, and it's gonna make this next week go by real slow for me. It's gonna be a rough week. Might have to call you
text you
several
daily.
times. Yes,
Just to let you know, hey, I won.
yeah, you should see the hooting and hollering that was going on the other weeks. Okay, well, we are going to be asking these people questions, and it's going to be interesting to see what they have to say. We'll be right back with our observations.
So we are at Bad Dog Brewery in Torrington, and a lot of loud music going on right now. But we are having, first of all, since the podcast began, my favorite beer. Since I started off with a pumpkin ale, which was meh, and then I went to the Guinness, which is at least a stout. I am drinking now Oats and Oats Stout.
Let's hear it.
Well, you're drinking it too. So what do you think?
It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
I think it's the best beer we've had since we've started the podcast.
Well, that doesn't say much though, because first of all, you had cider, so it's
Cider.
definitely your best beer.
Yes, Guinness. I wasn't even going to try that. I'm not going to waste my time. But yeah, it's got some just a tiny bit of sweetness, but not too much, and it feels kind of robust.
Yeah,
Really enjoy
I
it.
enjoy.
I was a bit shocked to see her with a beer and not a cider this evening.
Well, because she only
True.
drinks stouts and porters.
Stouts are it.
So
I'm
this
not
is
going to have any of your girl drinks that you have. Your beers with umbrellas.
Man,
what are you drinking, Dennis? Go ahead.
drinking a double IPA, honey IPA.
Of course you are.
Yes, because I'm sweet and refined, and I have decorum.
And I'm a Russian shot putter, apparently.
but
A
a
mustache.
but a sexy Russian shot putter.
Your terms are acceptable.
So okay, so are you enjoying your beer?
I am enjoying my beer. It is a good beer, though. I do take some hits for obviously my eating habits and now my drinking habits.
That's not an eating habit. That's basically
No,
a
because-
crime against humanity.
Oh,
Yeah.
his
That has to do with an eating
fingers
habit.
Up cutting a
Cutting
hamburger with
cutting a hamburger with a
like
fork
some
and knife.
sort of George Costanza.
I
knockoff.
am not a heathen.
No, but Liz and I both moved away from you while you were doing that. I do not know this
They all
man,
moved away from me on the bench.
and very few people on
W bench.
the podcast will understand that line.
Cool kids.
That is true. So we are here and we're asking the question: how will the world end?
That's pretty deep.
And we're going to be asking and getting some pretty interesting responses, I'm sure.
So,
The question is, how do you think the world will end?
World War III.
And is that going to come soon?
You know, I thought it was going to come a couple years ago, so you never know.
Okay.
It could happen tomorrow or it could have happened a year ago.
There you go. Thank you. That's all.
The question for tonight is, how is the world going to end?
ooh,
Do you have an
what's your name, first of all?
Name's Billy. Billy,
Hey,
what do you
Billy.
think, Billy? How is the world going to end?
How do I hope the world is going to end?
However,
This is going to be really dark, and I apologize. Human beings are a parasite to the earth. We destroy it. We pollute the environment. We destroy the oceans. We kill animals. We kill each other. So I'm hoping a meteorite 2024, 2025 hits and just annihilates the entire human race so the earth can take its time to heal. And that's like a hippie answer, but people are a plague to this planet. We destroy it. We don't appreciate what we have here. And we monetize and capitalize and we charge people for water. Like the planet is what, 80% water? That's it. That's all I got.
Can we go like 2030? Because I really want to see grandchildren.
You know what? Again, I don't know. That was my answer. That's all I got, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I know it's pretty dark, but
And so how do you rationalize that in your mind? Like, so you're a consumer of things also.
I'm taxed to death for those consumer or the things that I do purchase. Yes.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
So you really believe we're the parasite?
Aren't we? Think about it. If the earth was here by itself, there wouldn't be any oil spills or wars or just famine and just destruction. Like it would be just earth. It'd probably be a green paradise,
So you don't consider us part of the actual earth? We're some sort of tack on mistake?
possibly just evolutionary mishap. I don't know.
So you're saying that other animals and other living creatures, they're pristine and untouched?
Yeah, look at dolphins or octopus. They're really smart. Or even crows, ravens.
True,
They're
but do you
super smart,
know?
and they don't pollute as much as we do.
But do you know what dolphins do?
Dolphins, hurt other animals and play with other animals. And,
Well, they actually, and
and assault other animals.
They
Yes,
do.
dolphins are assholes. Yes. we get it. But still, they don't dump a bunch of carbon into the atmosphere and
let's hope they
poison the
don't
rest-
evolve hands then.
right? Opposable thumbs,
Yeah.
dangerous
Then
dolphins,
dolphins are going to be the mermaid terrors of the ocean.
right?
Then they'll be on a podcast saying the same thing.
Imagine that.
An opinion on it? No, not really. I was thinking about it over there. I don't like to think about, kind of.
Well, you want a Joe response. You definitely want something from Joe. Joe, come on.
Joe,
You have some gems, bro.
I didn't know what. I had no idea.
no, thoughts about it, like speculation, hopes. Billy here hopes that a meteorite hits us.
Not as dark as that sounds. I love my life, but other people, it's not just me, are destroying the world.
So we need to get rid of the elite.
It's not just about me. Is it the elite? We're contributing to it.
You're talking.
I drive a car. I drive a motorcycle, whatever.
It's gonna
I'm contributing to
I
it.
think it's like those sci-fi movies where we're gonna just leave Earth and go other.
Well,
planet.
Elon Musk
Not
has that
so
already
in our
kind of
lifetime.
mapped out. He wants us on.
But I don't think it's gonna end before we're able to.
Only the 1%ers are leaving this planet for another planet. We're going to be left here to breathe all the carbon and crap that they've emitted to make their millions and billions of dollars. We're not going anywhere.
If you look at this Earth as this world, then yeah, I guess. I don't know. I think.
Sorry. I don't want to miss any of what you're saying because this is good.
Is it? Oh, hopefully. It's a little bit
It's fascinating.
drunken banter. Sorry.
Well, we picked the place to come, so.
Right? Yeah, brewery. You get the best answers here, right? Hopefully it doesn't go viral.
In your opinion, how will the world end and why? And there's no right or wrong because we don't know how it's going to end, so it's okay.
I don't know. Lately, weather's been really weird. So the first thing that comes to mind is those perfect storm movies.
So
I don't know.
the whole Earth could be succumbed to a major weather catastrophe.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not imagining a comet that came and ended the dinosaur era. I'm thinking maybe more weather related with recent events.
That's. And do you think it'll be sooner or later? Sooner or later?
I hope it's later, much later,
Why?
because we still have a lot of life left to live. So I don't want to.
Is you're so good that means your life is good enough that you want to live it out to your old age.
Absolutely.
Good. What do you like most about your life that you don't want to perish all of a sudden because of a cataclysmic event?
Well, I just met my fiance only a year ago.
A fiance. Look at that. There we
A
go.
little more time to have some fun and
There we go.
enjoy life
Just a few
together.
years. Yeah.
Yeah, well, more than a few, preferably.
All right. That's excellent. I thank you so much for your time.
See what you think of this one. How do you think the world will end?
I think that it's going to see like smart people just.
Oh my goodness. So
I think it'll turn out that way eventually. It's like a free for all.
so sort of what is that? What is Mad Max? Yeah, that does sound like Mad Max. What's that other one where people The Purge? There's lots of good choices. And it would just end humanity.
Yeah.
Oh my heavens. So you
It could be a natural disaster. It could be people on people.
Okay. So you don't think it'd be a natural disaster? Humanity would kill itself off. Oh, fascinating. Okay. Thank you for your answer. It was wonderful.
How will the world end?
Humanity will destroy itself.
Yeah, be more specific.
Environment, solar rays will infiltrate our atmosphere, and we'll all be gone in a split second.
Oh, wow. And will this happen sooner or later in your lifetime?
I hope not. But the way things are going, it might.
Ways things are going in what way?
Just, our effect on the environment and all that stuff.
So our destruction of the environment will be our own demise.
I think so.
Okay, cool. Thank you. That's it. See, that was that was painless. Thank you so much. We gotta get your name again?
Kelsey.
Oh, nice name.
Thank you.
So we have two questions to ask you.
Okay.
And then we heard that you're a fount of all.
Okay, well, I appreciate it.
So
Yes.
here we
Let's
go.
make it-
These questions are weird.
I love weird questions.
All right.
That's what we do.
So the first question is a little bit deeper, but how do you believe the world will end, in your opinion?
Ooh. Do we mean like the actual physical planet, or do we mean like humanity?
We mean whatever you want it to
Whatever you
mean.
want it to. Honestly, if it's not a giant meteor, which is my hope because it'll be nice and quick, I think it's going to be one of those things where we just kind of slowly fade out, and it's going to be just a weird, like, one day we're here, one day
What's causing us to fade out?
causing us to fade out. Our own failures. That's a
In
nice way to put it.
Failures. You
Failures
can
in-
be open. This
No,
is a
absolutely. I think
podcast.
it's our own failures as treating humanity as humanity. We don't treat people like people anymore. And in recent years, we've really seen a lot of people. Well, COVID's a great example, right? That was the perfect time for all of us to come together and be like, oh shit, like, let's care about other people. And instead it was like, let's hoard all the toilet paper. This isn't real. Put Clorox in your beer or whatever. And so I think the end of humanity is definitely going to be one of those, the more focus on me, don't care about other people, don't treat people like people. We're all going to just turn to animals. That's just eventually going to
I'm getting a vibe of the Disney movie.
Wall-E.
No, Wall-E.
Wall-E.
I
Yes.
love that movie.
Yeah, I would too.
Because it really hit home with me, that whole idea that people are just so self-absorbed
Yes.
that they just turned into degenerates and ended up blobs in society.
Exactly.
And you see that happening?
Yes. I was a very optimistic person until COVID. Full disclosure, I was living in Florida at the time when that hit, and that was just like the epitome of, now let's have spring break. Let's have all this stuff. Go to Disney. It's all good. There's nothing going on here. So
how are you living contrary to the very thing that kind of irks you about people?
I try to not be a dick. That's kind of my philosophy in life. Don't be a dick. I'm not saying you can't have fun. I'm not saying you can't go out and enjoy the world and be a little hedonistic. But when it comes down to it, letting somebody in traffic, is that really going to destroy my day? No. Is it, getting a flu shot, is that really the end of the world? No. So I do try to keep that little flicker of optimism that's still there, that won't let go, and try to live that and try to instill that in the next generation. I have a 5-year-old, so we're a lot of like, no. I know it's nice to punch somebody when you're upset, but we don't do that.
So here's my question. So
Yeah.
you have a child. We all do, which is awesome.
Most days.
Yeah. Some days. Mine are all adopted out of the house. So awesome.
Awesome for you.
So yes, grandkids are a blessing. So, but you're saying that maybe a meteor would help solve this, but then the eyes of your beautiful baby. So is this the end that you hope when you consider? I mean, I know it's hyperbolic.
Sure.
And I understand that sentiment. But with this beautiful child, is that really what you would like to have happen?
Well, I mean, if speaking from like a mother's perspective, obviously I wouldn't want the world to end ever. I want all of us to live together in harmony and sing kumbaya.
Okay.
When the meteor comes, I'm hoping that she and I are both already in the next plane.
Do you know Billy over there?
I do.
You do. You are very much alike.
Oh, are we?
Yeah, your
that's terrifying.
responses was kind of, they aligned. I think the hyperbole, we all experience it and then we all say that. And the fact is we all just adore our children and want them to have the best, beautiful existence possible.
Absolutely.
So, but getting back to what the question is, have you ever considered what might in the physical reality might be the end of the world? The universe, world, humanity, whichever you choose.
I think, the universe, we're going that far? No.
Choose anyway. Humanity, Earth.
Honestly, in the most recent times, climate change is, anyone who says it's not, I want to be on whatever drugs you're on, because I grew up in a Hurricane Alley area and they were bad, but these are bad. So I think climate change is very real, and that's probably going to be our undoing on this planet. Is it going to be in the next 20 years or the next 2,000 years? I'm not a scientist. I'm not going to pretend I know.
So you're saying that the Earth will kind of consume itself because of these kind of problems?
I don't know if it'll consume necessarily its entire self, but us.
Okay.
And we are probably the virus that's the issue. And maybe once we're gone, again, very Wall-E-esque, the Earth will rebuild, reheal, and maybe there will be a new, I don't know, maybe a crocodile will take over the world. Who knows?
Are you worried about the crocodilians?
No, I can't. No,
achieving the ability to use their thumbs.
Slee stack.
If it was up to my daughter, the crocodiles would take over the world, and she'd be all for it.
Okay, well, we heard from our guest, and I'm not sure if anyone's really surprised or not, but I will say, after we're done, Liz, you were definitely affected by people and their responses.
Yep.
You want to talk about that?
Well, it was really, you wouldn't think a question like, how do you think the world would end, would actually result in like this profound desperation. I thought that people would kind of think it was like a fun question and maybe come up with some thoughtful ways, but it ended up becoming just like profoundly sad.
It was dark.
Really, it was so dark. And I'm like, well, where is this coming from? Because we had two people whose answers were insanely similar. And I'm like, well, there's a root to this. There's something that's going on here. And I was brought back to the verse in Jeremiah 17:9. And the verse is, I'm going to give you the King James one because I like this version for this verse. It says, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked, and who could know it? It just like, it mirrored a lot of what we heard, that these people were speaking, they were echoing biblical truth because they kept coming back. You know, this world just doesn't have any hope. The only way we can do anything about it is hope that there is an asteroid and it needs to be soon. And it was just like scary to hear people talk like that. It's like, these are people with no hope, but they're speaking in there are numerous Bible verses, including this one in Jeremiah, where the people speak very much like what we heard, like Ecclesiastes. You'll hear a lot of this despair and this loss and this profound sadness that there's there's no answers. And what are we supposed to do about that? And so I did a little bit of a dive, not the deepest of dives. So Jeremiah 17:9, if you haven't looked it up, I wouldn't exactly make a plaque and put it in your dining room, but the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked, and who could know it? But where do we go with that? And so then you can move to the New Testament and look at Matthew. It says, for the people's heart had grown callous. They hardly hear with their ears, and they have closed their eyes. Otherwise, they might see with their eyes and hear with their ears and understand with their hearts and turn, and I would heal them. They're missing that part. They've been so accustomed to this nihilism and that God isn't there. He's not just dead. He's not there at all. This profound desperation.
The lack of hope.
There's no hope. Jesus said the same thing. They've grown so callous and so far from me that if they just turned, I could give them that hope back to them. But they're missing. And I tried to, we spoke to who had the 5-year-old daughter, and she, we talked about, this is hyperbole, and I understand that. But do you think that there's another choice? I mean, you have this child, you want this beautiful life for her. And the whole idea of, turning to God was not on her radar at all. And to me, that's so sad. Yeah, so it's been resonating with me all week. It's really hard. And what's our answer? Here we live in America, and we're, yay, America, but we live in a pluralistic society. And I think a lot of Christians have said, well, that means that we can't really push ourselves and say things. And I'm thinking this is the fruit.
That's a good point.
That's the fruit of us,
Of being quiet.
of disappearing, because in a pluralistic society, all religions are given equal weight. And I can appreciate that. But as Christians, we can't just give way to that, because then we end up with a society with no hope. We need to be that light on the hill. We've given that up. Shame on me,
Are we failing people?
Well, yeah, of course we are. But we're also helping people. I mean, it can't, I think you have to look at it from, there are some wins. But yeah, I think overall the church has retreated overall, and it's kind of lost.
Become more of a country club of sort. The church of the you go there as a member, you stay within your group, and then you leave.
Yeah, it's kind of tribal a little bit.
And the phrase "speaking to the choir" is more true now than ever before.
Yep.
On a different note, trying to bring us out.
Sorry about that, guys.
No, it was very profound. I like that. What would be a Christian perspective way to answer how will the world end? Is there a Christian perspective?
Oh, absolutely. I think the Bible's pretty clear. Revelation 21, there will be a new heaven, there will be a new earth. Interesting, it says that the seas will be gone, understanding that in the Hebrew mindset, sea was representative of chaos. And so the chaos will be gone. God sets up a new heaven and a new earth. I kind of like to think of it as heaven crashing into earth and becoming kind of one, where we almost go back to the garden and how it was set up. And so those people who say, well, there's going to be no work and I'm not quite sure that's the truth. I
hope that's not true.
I hope not.
I think the work will be fulfilling and it will be different from anything we understand now.
Right.
And that's the hope that we have as Christians, and that's the hopelessness that we saw with our conversations.
So a Christian perspective, in essence, is the world really won't end. It'll just be renewed.
It'll be renewed.
Because
reconciled, renewed.
Yeah, according to Revelations, it's still the same earth.
Right.
And I just think of like when I go to Yosemite and see all the gorgeousness of it, that's not going to go away. It'll just be magnified by other gorgeousness, and there won't be evil, there won't be sin, and I read
no
Revelations,
sickness, no tears,
no pain,
none of
and
that.
it's like what a wonderful thought. But yeah, but not boring, because
and could you imagine working with no tears or pain?
Yeah, well, yeah, I think that's going to be the exciting part, because it's challenge that we all strive. We all need a challenge, and that's going to be at some form. Like, I'm way too stupid to understand what that would mean, but I believe there will be a challenge. It won't be like my friend said once, I don't want to go to heaven, it's boring. People play harp all day. It's like, I think you have
That's a good reason to reject Jesus. I don't like the harp.
That's never mentioned in the Bible, what we do, but sure.
It'll be an experience that we have no fathomable idea We can just put pieces in from what our own human small perspective is, but it is bigger than what we can. I believe it's bigger than what we can understand.
Oh, it has to be. Well, wouldn't Paul say that? For Christ, to Christ is. Oops, I'm screwing this one up. To live.
To live is Christ.
To
and
die is gain. Yeah, it's to gain. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I'm on earth. I'll do what Jesus wants me to. But wow, I can't wait to die. It's be much better.
And you have to be careful not to get it in that escapism type of mentality. It's not escapism at all. It's just the hope of this isn't it.
Well, it's like looking forward to go on your
the
vacation.
Hope of glory. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I can't wait to go on vacation, but multiply that and
Yeah,
put it to a
times.
power of 1,000. Yeah. But yeah, it's something that Christians have that hope. And yet to not have that hope, I can understand why people get desperate and they want to grab on to something. They need to worship something. So they'll worship the government. They'll worship other men or athletes or actors. And it's like they have nothing. They have in their heart to worship something, but they're not finding the right thing.
And also hopelessness causes a sense of indifference just to everything and anything. I mean, if you feel that there's no hope in your life and no one actually cares about what's going on in your life, most times you're not going to care about what's happening.
You just become apathetic towards everything.
And
And then
everything
he
becomes
says,
indifferent.
eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow you may die.
Right.
And that's
Unfortunately, fentanyl's killing everyone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a sad state.
Well, that ends our gloomy podcast
For Halloween.
The good news is if you are a Christian, we have hope. And if you're not a Christian, it's not too late.
We have hope.
There is hope of a beautiful eternity that's filled with challenge, fun, and excitement. So once again, if you like listening to our podcast, please go to wherever you download the podcast and rate us. It really does help us with the algorithms to get more people listening to us. And again, we want to believe that we are reaching people, both Christians and non-Christians, and strengthening them and hopefully giving them hope. So please, when you do get the chance, please rate us high. It does help. Thank you so much. Tune in next episode when you'll hear Dennis say,
Well, then you have the teenage parents that say, boy, invisibility would be pretty good too.